we are going to calibrate our ORP probe. An ORP probe is exactly the same as a pH probe. They need to be replaced about once a year. You'll notice that it needs to be replaced when the values drift. But in the meantime, we want to recalibrate it every so often, maybe once a month or once every 2 months, and clean it and put it back in place. So we're going to do a real quick job of that today. We're just going to check it, clean it up a little bit, and then calibrate the ORP reading on the
Our
system.
ORP probe is right here. This is a Hanna Instruments type probe. And then we want to isolate that so that water doesn't come spraying out when we take it out. And we very simply remove that. There's a wire that does not come detached on this particular style unit. All right, in order to calibrate the ORP sensor, the ORP probe, we first of all want to inspect it. So I'm just going to use a flashlight. It's a little dark here. Look for any particulate matter that's built up on the ORP probe tip. Algae buildup, any other deposits that have built up. Here we can see that there is a small amount of algae that's built up over time here, and so we want to wipe that off and clean it. For the sake of time, I'm going to just do a very cursory job of that right now so that we can get on with the calibration of the sensor. So let's assume that we've cleaned that ORP probe up. Now we pull a solution. We have two solutions to choose from. This one is a 470 millivolt solution. I picked that because we generally run around 470 to 500 millivolt on this system. There's also a 240 millivolt solution that we can use. For a simple calibration, we're just going to use the 470 millivolt solution. We're going to pour it in a small cup so that we don't waste it. This can be purchased online. You can call the DRAM office and we can send you a package that has the correct solution. So we're going to look at our ORP sensor analyzer here and see what the value is. And we're going to put this tip in here and look at this to see a 470 millivolt solution on that probe. We're going to swish it around and let it settle down. I want to keep the solution flowing over this, so I'm slowly swishing it around in the little cup of 470 millivolt ORP solution. We're coming down to 480 millivolts, so we're pretty close, it looks like. Could take another minute or so to settle down all the way. And we're settled at 461, 462. Usually we would just leave that alone, but we'll go ahead and adjust this. Move this over. Trying to find my sweet spot. There we are. All right, we've turned it up to 470 millivolts, and so we finished calibrating the ORP sensor, analyzer and probe, so that they read the same thing. with the 470 millivolt ORP solution. Before I reinstall that, we're going to use an electrode cleaning solution to dip that probe in and clean it up a little bit more before we reinstall it. And let it sit in there for a few minutes before we put it back in. So I'm just going to swish it around in there a little bit, and then we're going to just let it sit in that solution for a few minutes and then put it back in to the system. Alright, we're going to reinstall this. I always counter twist them before I start reinstalling them so that the cable doesn't get twisted up. Put it in, making sure that we don't touch the tip of the probe up against the pipe. Tighten it reasonably tight by hand. Put the wrench on it and make sure that you don't over secure it. What we'll do is get it in just snug, and then we'll turn the water back on and check for leaks, and then we'll snug that down. If we see a leak, we'll snug it down a little bit more, and you're good to go.